Back in my shed. What's in my shed? Not just cars, you know. So we muck around with all sorts of rubbish in here. Well, I do. The wife doesn't. She doesn't like my shed. She likes me to be indoors or making stuff for indoors. So Dick's Escort at the minute. It's there. I'm not doing anything on that today. I've got more important things to do. I've got to fix the ride-on. So I bought a ride-on yesterday, went up to Gisborne, picked it up. Needs an engine on it and sorting out. And it's posh, dead posh mower, much more posher than my one. So I'm going to try and put an engine on it today. I'll probably nick the engine off my mower, which is a shame because my mower's pretty awesome. It's got a 20 horsepower with about 1 3/4" exhaust on it. It sounds like an old motorbike. What have we got in here anyway, in this shed? So over here, got this, let me turn it around so I'm bleeding, see what I'm doing. Old lathe, pretty ancient. It's an Atlas, and I think it's bloody old, probably about 70 years old, 80 years old. Accurate to within about 1 inch. Got a bit of play here and there, you know, a bit of slop in everything. But it's alright for making square things round, or nearly round. So that's sweet. What else we got? Chop off saw there. And then we've got the compressor over there. Just put a new head on that one because that one was buggered. Got this special one from China, which will get me by. Don't know how long for though, but that'll do for a minute. Our welding bench over there, full of crap. Cleaner's not been in for a while. And MIG welder. Had that for a few years now. Bloody awesome. Good for gluing shit together. Drill press over in the corner. And tools everywhere because the cleaner ain't been in, as I said. Really lapsed they are. The muscles, you know. Here's another shed. This is my wood butchery shed. It's only temporary. I'm going to knock it down one day because it's nearly falling down anyway. It's buggered. I think some worms have been chowing down it for a few years. What we got in here? Got my thicknesser down there, DeWalt thicknesser. So this is how I keep my muscles happy, by doing stuff in the house out here, so it keeps it clean. And I've got a bench saw thing there. And another project one day. God knows when though, but one day I'll fix it up, get it on the track, I hope. And this is the old man's shed. He still tinkers around in here a little bit. Got all his stuff in. I put him up a bit of tool space up there, made him a little bench. He's got a little vice, look. A woodworking lathe we bought him years ago. Ain't used it yet. But yeah, he's still got all his stuff in here. Mowers, weed eaters, trimmers, all sorts of stuff. And the ride-on normally sits here. He's chief in charge of cutting the grass. So that's that shed. Right, so I've got my mowers now. So this is me Heinz 57 varieties, Bitzer. My mate gave me the body, and I put a big ass motor on it. Right, let's get a proper shot there, a proper job. So that's a 20 horsepower Chinese motor, obviously. That's the stainless steel exhaust. And I made the grass chute because it didn't have one on it, so I made a grass chute so it flies out at high speed and goes all over the cars and everywhere. So the muscles ain't too keen on it, but it works and it's big and it sounds the bollocks. So hold on a minute, listen to this. So that's the donor, and then that's going in this, which I just bought, which is a Stiga. I think that's how you put it. So it's a 48-inch cut, so it's pretty huge. Timed cutter on it, so they go round and don't hit each other, which is nice. So the intention is to take my 20 horsepower motor out of that over there and chuck it in here, and then hopefully get another motor for that one and chuck it back in there and flick it on, because there's nothing wrong with it apart from it sprays grass everywhere because it ain't got a catcher on it, because I haven't made one yet. Because I ain't had bleeding time, because the missus makes me do stuff in the house. It's not fair. Right, extraction. So this is the engine, the 20 horsepower beastie, which is going to go in the other one. So let's start stripping this shit down. There's loads of wires that go to the electric clutch. There's that's an earth, so that basically stops it when it's when you turn the key. Just earths out the coil. That's your charge. Goes through a rectifier, voltage regulator. Then you've got power the start motor. Disconnect that. Obviously exhaust. Then pull off that pulley, because the other one's got different shit on it. So start off by taking this bleeding exhaust off. Should be relatively easy to get off, to it on and off so many times, so I keep farting around with it and making it louder. I don't know why, I just do. Because I can. And the old man loves it. Because it sounds like an old British motorbike. So let's just crack them. There you go. If you can't crack something, stick a spanner on the Allen key, gives you more leverage, eh? How's that? Learn something every day. So I'll wet that off there. Should really be doing this inside in the kitchen on the table. That's what my old man used to do to my mum. Used to strip down bleeding motorbike engines and stuff in the kitchen, and she weren't too keen on it apparently. I don't know why. It was great. There you go. Shut that in there. Handy bowl for all the bolts. Lovely. And that is bleeding off. Just like that. So now it's loose. I can leave it hanging there because I'm only going to use the flange off that to adapt to another exhaust, because the new one, because it's so bleeding posh, I might make it a bit quieter. So, you know, like a Swiss watch. Now I'm going to undo the rest of this stuff and I'll come back to you when I've done it, otherwise we'll be bored shitless, innit? Oh yeah, bleeding disconnect the battery first, eh? Otherwise you're going to blow the shit up. There's petrol everywhere, monkey. Right, that's all the bolts undone, I think. All the wires disconnected, everything disconnected, the pulley off, belts off, so that should now, hopefully, I can liberate it. It's an awkward bugger to pick up it now. Like that. And there it is, my new power plant. So now, finished with the Heinz 57 for now, till I get another engine for it. So I'll gently put all the bits together, shut the lid, and F it off out into the other shed. Not today, later on obviously, but that can be gone skid. So, goodbye. Thank you very much. That bit, that bit. And that bit. Here, please. Thank you very much. Right, done. Right then, let's move it over here. Come for a walk. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Put that there. Like that. Oh. Got a sticky leg. What was that? Post. Must be the floor. Never mind anyway. So that's where the new engine's going. About there like that. I'm just going to chuck pulleys on. Two pulleys off of this. It came off the old blown up engine. That's the one for the cutter blade. And that's the one for the drive. So I'll whack them on that old motor over there. Stick it in place, see if it fits, and then we'll cobble it all together. Should be sweet as. Right then, missing bits. So down here, hang on, turn that thing round. Smash. So that bit there, there's a Woodruff key there. A Woodruff key is like a sacrificial thing. So if someone gets their leg caught in it or something, it's supposed to break. Well, probably not their leg, but you know, some other bodily part or a brick or something you hit. So that's for that one. But I ain't got one for this. So what I'm going to do, because they're only made out of mild steel, old shite, I've got a bit of steel there, and a bit there, which is the same width already. So all I'm going to do is cut one off there. I've just marked it out. See that? Lovely. Cut that out, and that will go in there, and that'll do for that. It's only for the bleeding cutter, isn't it? Doesn't matter. So I'll do that. So that's going to be the Woodruff curve. Just chop that out that bit of metal. It's bleed not. That's why I got it with these grips. Let's go file it up, make it fit. Bolt the pulleys on. Happy days. Bleed now. Get off with fucking hose. Lovely, jubbly. Well, make sure that fits, and then I'll chuck that in. Beautiful. Right then. So maybe Woodruff key. That goes in there like that. That goes on there like that. That's the bolt out the other one, but I had to cut it down because it was too long, so I just run a die up it and chopped it off. New thread, and that fits in there like that. I won't put it on yet, I'll put it on after. So I've got a bit of belts on first. Right, my missus just brought us out something to eat. Look at that. Steak sandwich with a cup of tea. And little Nelly. Say hello, Nelly. Nelly's helping. You're helping, aren't you? You're helping build the ride on mowers, isn't it? Yep. See, told you. Right. Engine's bolted on. Pretty much nearly anyway. Nelly's just taking it for a test drive. Is it all good, Nelly? Does that look like it's going to work? Yeah? Yeah, I think so. So, motor's on nearly. Just finish off bolting it up. Put the pulleys on. Then I can start bolting all the ancillary stuff on, cables and all that other rubbish, and then we'll see if we can fire it up. Woohoo! Right then, motor's in, battery's on, nearly everything's connected up, throttle's connected up, belts on. Just got to connect up the earth that stops it, otherwise it keeps going, but it does start. I'm just working on the exhaust, so I've just cut the old, that's my old super pipe, which was bloody awesome, but loud as. So there's me phalange goes in there on that. So I'll whack that on there, and I'll just piece it together a pipe to go underneath, and then we're going to use this silencer which is off of it, which probably makes it sound like a Rolls Royce, which is sweet as. And found out it's not Swiss because a bloody flag on it. It's Swedish. What do they make? Who knows? So probably ain't going to run like a bleeding Swiss watch, is it? It's going to run like a Swedish chef, which is alright because it's quite funny on a Muppet show. So I'll carry on with the exhaust side. Cheers, mate. Alrighty then. I'm just going to tack this bit of pipe on, and then we should be able to make. Right, so I've got 3 tacks on there. Hopefully now I can get should be able to get the back box where it's got to go. Then I'm going to take it all off and glue it all together proper. And we should be able to start it out, see what it sounds like. Right, just going to weld the exhaust bracket on. Then the exhaust is done. And then just got to make a bracket for this little breather bottle for the transmission. And then the lid can go on. And then all I've got to do is put the front on, bleed and take it for a blast to see if it cuts grass or whether it's crap. Hopefully it's as good as it looks, otherwise it'll be a reeked pain in the ass to put it all back on the other one. Never mind. Sweet as. No. That's bleeding got it, mate. Isn't it? Fucking bastard. Yep, glued. Right, I've got some wires to tie back here, so just gonna cut a couple of bits of shitty old hose because the wires run right on the chassis, and I reckon with a bit of vibration, being a lawnmower, it could wear through and short out, and it'd be a real pain in the ass. So I put a bit of pipe on it. We'll thick it. I reckon. Right, a little bit there. Got to make sure it don't catch light on the old man, eh? He's not very fast on his toes these days, so you need a bit of head start to get off it before it burns his ass. Do you know what I mean? Bloody marvellous. Slip one around there. Smart. Fuck it off. Very tidy, very tidy. That's that bit done. Right, I've got the little expansion bottle bracket, and probably used to mount on the old engine, which was a Honda V-twin. I haven't got anywhere to bolt it on, so I'm going to cut that bleeding bit off and glue it on down there, bend it around and bolt it on a mud guard, and that'll bloody do, I reckon. Soon see anyway. Right, I've cut that up. Now I'm just going to glue these two bits together, and that'll screw on the mudguard thing. Bolt can go on, and I'll put the cover on, and then it's just the blades, and then it's happy days. Go and cut some grass, or the old man can. Right then, that's bit's done. Bottle down there, all glued on. Everything's all put in place now, I hope. I'll chuck the lid on, which is that bit, and chuck that bit on, and let's see if it works. It only bloody works, doesn't it? All back together. It's going to take it for a spin, I think. It's a bit dark now, but it don't matter. I'm not scared. It's got a light. Well, just took it for a spin, and I have to say, it cuts the nuts. Even if it was a night cut. Well, I don't know what it looked like in the morning, but it bleeding works. It doesn't even struggle. Just ticks over. It's awesome. Money well spent, eh?